ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे च जनकात्मजा पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। Sri Ramachandra and Sugriva are having this conversation whether or not Sugriva is worthy of Sri Ramachandra's shelter, friendship, association, whether or not it's dangerous for the Vanaras to make Vibhishana one of them, because Sugriva is the king of Vanaras, Vibhishana is a Rakshasa. Can there be friendship between such diverse species? Is it at all possible? Is there danger? Because Rakshasas eat Vanaras, they eat human beings. So there is threat, and Sugriva is very concerned. And Sri Ramachandra, after consulting with everyone, appeases and puts Sugriva's heart at rest, that Ramachandra does not make such considerations. His consideration is that someone has come to him and he will want to give his shelter. As far as fear is concerned, what is there room? Where is there any room for fear? In fact, Ramachandra tells Sugriva he doesn't need any of the Vanaras because he can finish anybody in the universe. In fact, he can demolish the entire universe simply by the tip of his finger. So this is a way of telling Sugriva that, like Arjuna was told by Krishna, Nimitta Matra Bhavasavya Sakshi. Just be an instrument. Rest is already decided. Krishna says, I'm the one who's orchestrating this entire war. The result's already determined because I'm standing on this side. So you just be an instrument and carry out the order. Same for Sugriva. But there is one piece that is hidden, actually not hidden, it's there, that Valmiki gives us as to what is going on in the heart of Sri Ramachandra. Ramachandra is impatient, and the impatience is described previously, but in the last verse of chapter 18. And I sent the book to all of you, so feel free to read along if you like. Tatastu Sugriva Vacho Nishamya Tad Harishwarena Abhihita Harishwarenabhihita Nareshwaraha Vibhishanena Ashu Jagama Sangamam. So the entire eagerness, restlessness of Ramachandra is hidden in the word Ashu. Quickly, Vibhishane, Vibhishanena, Ashu, Jagama. He sent Sugriva to very quickly bring Vibhishana to him. Quickly. Quickly is because there is restlessness. Actually, the great Vaishnava Acharyas give us a peek a little into Ramachandra's heart. That apparently Ramachandra is feeling embarrassed. He is almost ashamed. That how is it possible that my devotee has been kept waiting when they have come to offer their entire being? They've come for Atma Nivedana to me, and I'm keeping them waiting? It has never happened. When Gajendra the elephant was fighting with the crocodile for 1,000 celestial years, and finally, when he realized that this is not going to be possible on my own strength, he plucked a lotus with his trunk and raised his head and said, "Oh, that supreme being, I am being tormented here. Please help me." Then there are many poets, devotee poets, who write what's happening in the Lord's heart. He rushed, apparently, and he rushed with such speed that Garuda could not catch up with him. It is also said that he rushed in such eagerness. The picture we have is, suppose you have a bicycle, and if you've just joined in, please mute yourself. If you have a bicycle, normally the way you ride a bicycle is you sit on the bicycle, and if you're right handed, then the right pedal is on the higher side, and then you push and the bicycle takes off. But there is some initial inertia for it to accelerate to go to the speed that you want. But if you're in a hurry, what do? You hold the bicycle, you run with it, and then you jump onto it. Or your left leg is on the pedal. With the right foot, you almost like you push the bicycle to an acceleration level that is enough for you to get on and go faster. So this is how it seems Lord Narayana caught Garuda and ran with him, because Garuda cannot accelerate at the speed the Lord wanted him to be. That is his eagerness. Another commentary says when Draupadi was being disrobed, now these are visuals that we take in, they're not necessarily like these are the shlokas. There are different shlokas are there in the Sri Vaishnava Acharyas, in the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. They have different visions of what happened. So we're going from that. Sri Krishna was playing a game of dice with Rukmini. And as Draupadi is calling, Rukmini is asking Krishna, "Why are you not going?" And he smiled and said, "Not yet, not yet, not yet." Although he is very eager inside his heart that he should go to Draupadi, but Draupadi was still fighting Dushasana, holding on to her sari with her hands, holding the sari between her teeth, somehow resisting Dushasana. Finally, Draupadi realized that my strength, even though Draupadi is very strong, very, very strong lady. There is a verse where in Mahabharata that when Jayadratha kidnapped her, she punched him so hard that he fell off the chariot. That's how strong she is. But in front of Dushasana was the strength of 1,000 elephants. She couldn't bear. So finally she decided, okay, my entire chastity, self-respect, shame, everything is going to be exposed. And there's nothing I can do about it. And so she raised her hand and said, Govinda. At that time, Krishna dropped the dice and ran to be with Draupadi. And he ran in such speed that he forgot to take his uttariya, his upper cloth. That is the nature, that someone who calls of the Lord, he can't wait. But here he has made Vibhishana wait. That's not okay. It's unbearable for Sri Ramachandra. So in that spirit, let's read this chapter. This is chapter 19. So what's going on? When Ramachandra made Sugriva quickly bring Vibhishana, the first 8 or 10 verses I'm going to read along, and please read with me, meaning you don't have to say it loudly, but just follow along, because they are like gulab jamun, you're taking it out from that sugar syrup. Raghavena abhaye datte sannato Ravananuja. Having assured fearlessness by Sri Ramachandra, the younger brother of Ravana, Sannate, Nata means to bow down. Sannate, to prostrate. Vibhishano Mahapragyo Bhumim Samavalokayat. So when he was told, come, Ramachandra is waiting for you, he surveyed the earth below because he's still hovering in the sky as to where is the right place where I can go and prostrate in front of Sri Ramachandra. And so you hear the word Nata, which means bowing down, Papata, or to fall down on the ground, multiple times in these verses. Khat, Papata, Avanim. Khat, from the sky, Papata, Avanim. Avanim is the ground. From the sky, he fell onto the ground. And what was his heart feeling like? Hrashto. He was so delighted. Wow, what an opportunity. Sri Ramachandra has accepted me at his lotus feet. Bhakter Anucharai Saha, along with his followers and his servants were very loving to him. Satu Ramasya Dharmatma Nipapata Vibhishana. So, Papata Avanim, Nipapata Vibhishana. Again, in one verse, twice, Valmiki is telling us that he fell on the ground. That means he's offering obeisances and obeisances again and again and again. Padayor Nipapatathat Chaturbhi Saharakshasam. Having fallen again at the feet of Sri Ramachandra along with his followers, Abravit Tata Vakyam Ramam Prati Vibhishana. Vibhishana now responded to Ramchandra. This is the first time he's ever speaking to Ramachandra. All this while he's been hearing the glories of Sri Ramachandra from Sita Devi, from Hanuman, because Hanuman said it aloud in front of everybody. And for many, many, many years, he's been reading scriptures, he's been reading the Vedas, he's been studying, he's been meditating all about Sri Ramachandra, and that Supreme Lord is standing in front of him. Whew, he said, and this is the time to speak something. What will he say? Because he's such an amazing person, the words he spoke are excellent according to Valmiki Rishi. He says, Dharma yuktam cha. The words that Vibhishana spoke are full of dharma. It's not some sentimental stuff. Dharma yuktam. It is appropriate, it is proper, and full of realizations. Yuktam cha, and appropriate for his circumstance. He has come to be at the feet of Ramachandra. He has achieved the greatest perfection of his life to sit at the feet of Sri Ramachandra. Sampraptam, very, very opportunistic, very, very suitable for the occasion. Yuktam cha sampraptam. Sampraptam, opportune. Opportune means Ramachandra's heart is fully open to receive Vibhishana. So he has to speak that which is very appropriate. Sampraharshanam. Sampraharshanam, Vibhishana is in ecstasy. Harsha means to be joyful. Praharsha means excited. Sampraharsha, ecstasy. There are two qualifiers for the word harsha. Praharsha, sampraharsha. So every word Valmiki is telling us what is the state of Vibhishana. We can visualize that his hair is standing on end, his eyes are flowing streams of tears. I'm sure his voice is quivering and faltering. What is his introduction? Fantastic. Anujo Ravanasyaham. I am the younger brother of Ravana. Tena, by him, cha asmi avamanitaha. And I have been insulted and kicked out by my brother. Bhavantam sarvabhutanam sharanyam sharanam gataha. But you, on the other hand, Ramachandra, my own brother, who's a Rakshasa, could not tolerate me. You, on the other hand, don't make such considerations. You give shelter to anybody and everybody, whether they are this species, that species, animal, birds, insects, squirrels, whoever it is. You have that quality. He doesn't have that quality. And therefore, parityakta maya lanka. I have given up Lanka. Mitrani. I've given up all my friends. Cha dhanani cha. And I've given up all my wealth. Bhavadgatam hi me rajyam jeevitam cha sukhani cha. From now on, my kingdom, my life, my happiness, Bhavadgatam is all you. You are the center of my entire existence at this point. Tasya tad vachanam shrutva Ramo vachanam abravit. Having heard this, Ramachandra responded. Before we hear what Ramachandra responded, these verses are excellent prayers. They are prayers of surrender. They are prayers of Atmanivedana, same thing as surrender. And every word chosen by Vibhishana is excellent. So we'll go back and visit them. First, he says, Anujo, someone is not muted. Anujo Ravanasya Aham. So, I am Ravana's younger brother, which means I come from a Rakshasa dynasty. I come from a very bad background. We eat human beings. We torture Brahmanas. We destroy anything that is dharmic going on anywhere around us. This parallels a lot with our little Prahlad Maharaja's prayers. He says, Kim tostum arhate harim ugra jate. I come from a ugra jati, demoniac background. So how can I appease you? Kim tostum, how can I please you? He's telling Lord Brahma, how can I please the Supreme Lord? Kim toshtu marahati. What qualification do I have to please the Lord? Look at my background. Huh. In my veins are running Asura blood. By saying Anujo Ravanasyaham, in my veins are running Rakshasa blood. And Tena cha asmi avamanitaha. I've been kicked out. I have lost the sense of belonging. Avamanita, I've been insulted by, and Bhavantah Sarvabhutanam Sharanyam. I have considered because Vibhishana is very, very knowledgeable. He's been studying the scriptures. He's thinking, okay, if my this brother kicks me out, why don't I go to Kubera? But then Kubera is also inferior or in a lower position than Indra. Maybe I should go to Indra. But Indra has been defeated by Indrajit. And Indra himself is subordinate to Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma is my great grandfather. I can go take shelter of Lord Brahma. But I noticed that Lord Brahma is always meditating on who? On Sri Ramachandra. Therefore, if Lord Brahma himself, who's the supreme most being in the universe, is always meditating on Sri Ramachandra, then Ramachandra is the only shelter for the entire universe. Therefore, he says, Bhavantam Sarvabhutanam Sharanyam Sharanam Gataha. I have come to your feet because this is the only place. And Parityakta, I have given up Maya Lanka. I've given up my home. Usually, people have, as my spiritual master calls it, two-pocket program, which is pretty much all living beings, even sadhakas sometimes. Two pockets, little for me, little for the Lord. That's how he explains it. A little for me, little for the Lord. I can offer services to the Supreme Lord when I have a nice home. Whether a nice home or not, when I feel safe that I have a home. If I don't have a home, my entire the ground that I'm standing on is completely shaken up. Oh, what about this? Where will I live? What will I do? So he says, Parityakta maya lang. I don't have a home. I've given it up. Okay, I may not have a home. So at least I can go stay with some friends who will give me a place to rest, some food to eat, and some nice words. Mitrani cha. I've given up those friends also. So there's nobody. Okay. I may not have friends, but if I have some money, I can eat something nice. I can buy some company. I can have some way of entertaining myself. Dhanani cha. I have nothing. I'm completely impoverished. These are all features of akinchanatvam. Okay. At least you're breathing. Yes, I am breathing. I am alive. And that means that every breath of mine now is meant for you, Sri Ramachandra. Bhavat gatam hime rajyam. Rajyam, he doesn't have any rajyam. He has no kingdom. But he has 4 followers. So he's the lord or leader of those 4. So he says, even if these 4 are my followers, they're all, I'm centered around you. That means they are also your servants. Jivitam cha, my entire breath, my life. Sukhani cha, any sense of happiness is centered around you. That means if you are there, there is happiness. If you're not there, if I don't have your shelter, even if I am in Lanka in the middle of all the greatest luxuries, no Sukhani is not at all happiness. They're all in the list of Dukhani. What a lovely, lovely offering. I mean, since we are Gaudiya Vaishnavas, our reference is Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Manasa, Deha, Geha, Jo Kichu more. Whatever I call mine, Arpinu Tuapade, Nanda Kishora. The Ramachandra heard. So, Vachasa,
Here.
Vachasa, Santvayitva, Enam. Lochanabhyam piban iva. Akhyahi mama tatvena rakshasanam bala abalam. So, Vachasa by Ramachandra, so Ramachandra spoke. So, through Ramachandra's words, Santvayitva, Ramachandra soothed the heart of Vibhishana. The soothing is a way of saying that Ramachandra was feeling so bad. I have made my devotee wait for me when he is willing to be right here, surrendering everything. This is against my characters, against my nature. How can the Lord hold back when his devotee is calling for him? Oh, so Ramchandra is feeling very bad because you have to have discussion with Sukhdev. Actually, he doesn't need to have any discussions with Sukhdev. I mean, who are they? He's surrendering to Ramachandra. But the process is to surrender through the devotees. So then who's surrendering has to wait for the devotee's grace to come. And devotee's grace came when Sugriva said, yes, yes, we will accept him as one of us. Vibhishano Mahapragya Sakhitvam Chabhipate Naha. Let him become our friend. So the Lord has kept him waiting. Then Ramachandra is gazing at Vibhishana and drinking Vibhishana, as if drinking the form of Vibhishana through his eyes. Lochanabhyam Piban Iva. Ramachandra's eyes are the medium through which grace flows. So it's called Kataksham. Aksham Kata. By looking, by glancing at his devotees, he removes all the distresses in one's body, mind, and subtle body and gross. Everything is removed just by his glance. But here, Lochan, then the devotee drinks the form of the Lord through his eyes. That's why the Lord is so handsome. And the eyes are pretty much as if they're drinking that form. That's for the devotee. But in this case, Ramachandra has become the devotee of his devotee. So, Lochanabhyam Piban. He's feeling so happy to see Vibhishan. And so with some words has appeased his heart that, oh, you've given up your Lanka, your friends, your wealth, you've come to me. Please be assured that I have taken you wholeheartedly. And then he says, now please tell me, give me specifics, actuality of what are the strengths and weaknesses of the Rakshasas. Tatvena, in actuality, Rakshasanam, among the Rakshasas, Balam, Abalam. What is the strength? What are the weaknesses? So Vibhishana started to narrate. He says, oh, Sri Ramachandra, Lord Brahma, the creator of this universe, gave my brother Ravana this boon that he cannot die by any of the created beings, whether they are Gandharvas, Yakshas, Kimpurushas, Kinnaras, Devatas, Nagas, the birds, anybody. And then he has another brother, or I have another older brother, younger than Ravana, but older than me. His name is Kumbhakarna. Very, very powerful. He's so strong that the only person who's a match for him is Indra, no one else. And this Ravana is not alone. He has great generals, Prahasta, Manibhadra. They're all at the Manibhadra is at once used to be the commander of Kubera's army. And in Mount Kailasha, Ravana fought with Kubera and completely vanquished him. I'm sure you've heard about it. Then Ravana has Indrajit. Very, very strong. He got this title, Indrajit. And this Indrajit is always ready to fight. He wears these gloves made out of a special lizard called iguana. Iguanas were used in war. I know that in our school history, when we used to read about not Lord, about Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, his army, when they had to scale the forts of the enemy, they would tie ropes to the backs of iguanas and hurl the iguanas. The iguanas have a very strong hold. The iguanas would hold the walls of the fort, and then the warriors would climb, holding the rope that is tied to the waist of the iguanas. So very thick, strong skin, and because they're shooting bow and arrow, every time they shoot an arrow, the string of the bow comes and hits the hand.
नहीं
So
नहीं हमने नहीं।
to protect the arm, they wear sleeve made of iguana skin. Ramachandra also has that. And this Indrajit can go out and vanquish anybody, but he has a very specific skill that he can become invisible with his bow in his hand. That means the bow also becomes invisible, and he shoots from anywhere where no one can see him. And when Indrajit strikes the enemy, because he has Agni Deva's blessings, he can finish off a massive army. Then there is Mahodara and Mahaparshva. These two, along with
क्या हो गया? ये खाओ, बी खाओ। हाँ हाँ, ले ले, नीचे बैठ, नीचे बैठ।
I think Harish Prabhu has to mute. Harish Prabhu, you're not muted.
Mahodara, Mahaparshva, along with Akampana, they are such mighty guardians and invincible in battle. They are all the commanders of his army. Oh, so how many Rakshasas are there in Ravana's army? 100 billion with a B. 100 billion Rakshasas. Dasha Koti Sahasrani Rakshasam Kamarupinam, and each of them can change their form. Mamsa Shonita Bhakshanam. They drink blood, yeah, and they eat flesh. Lanka Puranivasinam, and they all are residents of Lanka, and there are 100 billion Rakshasas, each of them very, very strong. So this Ravana, with such a mighty army, mighty generals, fought even with the Dikpalakas and defeated all of them. So Ramachandra heard, wow, what an army. What an army. And then Ramachandra said to Vibhishana, Yani karma padanani Ravanasya Vibhishanaha akhyatani cha tatvena hyavagacchami tanyaham. Oh, Vibhishana, I want to know what is it that Ravana has done that he is so powerful. Hmm? But nothing to worry. I will finish off that Ravana, that Dashagriva, 10-headed monster. I will finish off Prahasta, his commander-in-chief, and all of Prahasta's sons, Ravana's sons. And Vibhishana, I will crown you the king of Lanka. And this you should take as truth from me. Rajanam tvam karishyami satyametat shrunotu me. Shrunotu, hear from me, from me, Karishyami, I will make Tvam, you, Rajanam. I will make you the king of Lanka. Ravana can stand and fight with me. He may decide to go and hide in Rasatala. I don't care. I will go pull him out of Rasatala and kill him. Rasatalam va pariveshat patalam va piravana. Whether Rasatala or even lower to Patala. I will, he may actually say, oh, neither Patala or Rasatala, I will go take shelter of Lord Brahma, my great grandfather. Even if he does so, I will kill him, even when he is under the shelter of Lord Brahma. He cannot escape me. Ahatva Ravanam Sankhe Suputra Janabandhavan. I will kill Ravana, not alone, Sa Putra, along with his children, Jana, along with his people, Bandhavan, and all of his relatives. Ayodhyam na pravekshami tribhistrair bharturabhi shape. I will not enter Ayodhya without killing Ravana and his people, and this I swear by my three brothers, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna. I mean, what a promise. Clock is ticking. Sita Devi has given him 1 month's time. Bharata has given him 2 months' time. And here he is assuring Vibhishana, I will take care of Ravana. And this I swear on my brothers. Otherwise, I will not enter Ayodhya. Now, this is Ramachandra's confidence for sure, because he's the Supreme Lord. But think of him as a human being for a moment, because that's how he considers himself. Somebody has come to take his shelter, and he gives himself up to that person. When Sudama Brahmana came, brought nothing with him except some not even good quality, bad quality chipped rice that his wife had begged from someone else. And he was so embarrassed because it was packed in a very dirty piece of cloth, because his own cloth was all torn and dirty. In South India, Sudama is known by the word kuchela. Chela means cloth. Kuchela, very bad, dirty, torn cloth. Ramachandra is called Suchela. Bala Kanakamaya Chela. Ramachandra is wearing Kanakamaya, gold, glittering like gold, Pitambara cloth. So he is called Kuchela. In that, he bought this uh, chipped rice and he tucked it in his waist, and he was walking to Dwaraka. I'm sure he was sweating. It was Brahmanas walking in the heat. He was sweating. So that bundle was also sweating. And that Sri Krishna ate. And before he could take more, Rukmini said, please, I cannot give him. I have reached the limit of what can be given to him. I've reached my limit of being able to give. And here Ramachandra is giving himself. How do we know that? He says, Ayodhyam na pravekshami. There my brother is going to kill himself. I don't know if I'll get Sita or not, but I will make sure that I will kill Ravana for you. Shrutva tu vachanam tasya ramasya klishtakarmanaha shirasa avandya dharmatma vaktumevam prachakrame. Having heard these words, Vibhishana just bowed his head, which means he offered obeisances one more time at the feet of Sri Ramachandra. Oh. Now, let's go back. He says, This is verse number 19. Aham hatva dashagrivam samprahastam mahatmajam rajanam tvam karishyami satyametat shrunotumai. So when you go to Rameshwaram, I was there not too long ago, exactly 6 weeks ago or so. When you go to this place called Dhanushkodi, which is the place from where the bridge was broken by Ramachandra's bow, on that long road from when you enter that area of Rameshwaram, and from Rameshwaram town you have to go. As you're going along, on the left there is a little turn where there is a temple of Lord Ramachandra. And in that temple, or that's the place that commemorates, it's considered a Divya Desham, where Sri Ramachandra made this promise to Vibhishana. I think I've sent pictures as well. If not, I'll try and send again. This is the place where Ramachandra had promised. Now, promising is not enough. He has to show with his actions. But that place is so serene, so amazing. It's a place where you're assured that all I have to say to Ramachandra is, I'm offering myself to you. And he receives us with open arms. So then, after hearing all this, Vibhishana said, whatever strength I have, whatever intelligence I have, I'm going to offer that to you, that you can kill all the Rakshasas, you can hit them and kill them, or whatever is required, and break through the entire army of the Rakshasas. Because ultimately, we want to make sure that Sita Devi is released from Ravana's clasp. Now, as soon as Vibhishana said this, very rarely somebody gets the embrace of Sri Ramachandra, and Vibhishana gets it. Iti Brahmanam Ramastu Parishwajya Vibhishanam. Parishajya. Now, Shvajva means to embrace. Parishajva means to embrace like this tightly. Vibhishanam Parishwajya. And then Ramachandra spoke to Lakshmana. Abravit Lakshmanam Pratihi. Lakshmanam Pritaha. Samudra Jalam Anaya. Samudra Jalam Anaya. From this ocean, bring water. Tena Chemam Mahapragyam Abhishincha Vibhishanam. So bring some water and do Abhisheka for Vibhishana. Rajanam Rakshasam Kshipram Prasanne Mahimanada. Oh Lakshmana, Manada. Manada means one who gives respect. Actually, if you go further, Manada means one who gives someone honor. Without Lakshmana's grace, however qualified or disqualified a person is, disqualified obviously is not at all honorable. But even if one may be a king, a great leader, one may be any very well educated, coming from a great family, but unless one has Lakshmana Deva's grace, that person is not honorable. So Ramachandra recognized that the ultimate honor has to come from the Guru. The Guru has to make that entity honorable. So the Ramachandra becomes Ramachandra's devotee. So he says, Lakshmana, bring the water from the ocean and do Abhishek for Vibhishana. It has to be done by Lakshmana. And I'm very, very happy with him. You are the one that make anybody honorable. Prasanne Mai, I am very happy. Manada. Oh, Lakshmana. What a... Nowhere has Valmiki missed or sidestepped the right procedure, etiquette, method of how a living entity becomes a soul accepted by the Supreme Lord, it cannot happen without the intervention of Guru. Therefore, this only is done by Lakshmana. Ramachandra could have said, bring the water, I will do Abhishek. Lakshmana has to do. So Lakshmana, while all the monkeys, Sugriva, Hanuman, Jambavan, all of them are waiting. The entire Vanara army is waiting there. Lakshmana went and brought the water and performed Abhishek to Vibhishana. When everyone saw how much grace Vibhishana has received from Ramachandra, they did not become jealous, they became happy. And their happiness is where they loudly shouted, Sadhu, Sadhu. This is a term that keeps coming again and again in Ramayana. When Ramachandra married Sita Devi, also there is that verse. It was one of my favorite verses. Sadhu, Sadhu iti devanam, rishinam vadatam tada, devadundurbinirghosha, pushpavarsho mahan abhut. The devatas rained flowers upon Sita and Ramachandra. They played the drums and all the assembly members loudly shouted, Sadhu, Sadhu. Here also, tam prasadam tu ramasya drashtva sadya plavangamaha prachakshurbhir mahatmanam prachakshurbhir. They're standing witnesses as, wow, Ramachandra accepted even a Rakshasa. Sadhu sadviti chabruvan. They became so mesmerized and thrilled by Ramachandra's grace. Hanuman, Sugriva, they spoke to Vibhishana. Please tell us how we can cross this formidable ocean, because there are so many Vanaras. How are we going to get them there? And the ocean is very, very massive, powerful. Vibhishana, you're very powerful. Please tell us. How can we go to the ocean? How can we get the permission to cross this abode of Varuna with all our troops? So Vibhishana, who is a very Dharmatma person, said to Sri Ramachandra, oh, Raghava, what you should do is you should take shelter of the ocean. Now, that's a very fascinating thing to say. Evamuktastu dharmatma pratyuvacha vibhishanaha samudram raghavo raja sharanam gantum arhati. Ramachandra should take shelter of the ocean. Why? Because Khanitaha, this ocean was excavated Sagarena by Sagara's sons, who were nobody other than Ramachandra's ancestors. And because they dug up the earth and made the ocean, obviously the ocean will be very happy to offer back an act in kind. Evam vibhishanokto rakshasena vipaschitaha ajagamata sugrivo yatra ramasa lakshmanaha. When Vibhishana said this, Sugriva came back to where Rama and Lakshmana were standing, which means Sugriva and Hanuman took Vibhishana to the shore of the ocean and said, boss, how do we cross this? And then he said, Ramachandra should take shelter of the ocean. Then they came back. Sugriva came back and said to Ramachandra, this Vibhishana has given very good advice. Vibhishanascha shubham sugrivo vipulagrivaha sagarasya upaveshanam. Upavesha, you should fast and you should take shelter of the ocean. So there is a little problem here. They asked Vibhishana for advice. Vibhishana said, Sarva Bhutanam Sharanam Sharanya Sharanam Gata. You are the one who gives shelter to all living beings. And then he comes and says, Ramachandra, you should take shelter of the ocean. One must wonder what's going on. That is because Vibhishana has the experience that if you take shelter, if you surrender, then everything auspicious happens. So now, from being a devotee, he has this bhav of a friend. And so he's telling, hey, I surrendered and things became easy. Ramachandra, you should also surrender. Things will become easy for you. Because he only knows what is in his experience. Like we say, you can only give what you have. So he has great experience of the success he has achieved by surrendering to someone powerful. So that's the advice he gives. Please take shelter of the ocean. This chapter has only 41 verses. If you don't mind, I'll finish it and then we'll
ఇది
open for
అన్నిట్లో
questions.
ఉంటుంది ఒకసారి.
I'm assuming that's a yes. Now, when such advice was given, it is said that Ramachandra also liked that advice. Ramachandra did not say, hey, do you know who I am? I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No. He said, oh, nice advice. Good. Let's do that. Then Valmiki is also telling us that Sri Ramachandra, who was capable of giving shelter to the entire world, accepted that he will take shelter of the ocean. This is very contradictory. Prakritya dharmashilasya ramasyasya rochataha. He liked that advice. Salakshmanam mahatejaha sugrivam cha harishwaram. Satkriyartham kriyadaksham smitapurva bhasha. Smitapurva, with a smile, Ramachandra accepted that advice. Vibhishanasya mantro ayam mama Lakshmana rochate. I like it. Lakshmana also likes it. I like it. Let's do it. Sugrivaha pandito nityam bhavan mantra vichakshanaha. Mantra vichakshanaha. Vibhishana has great insight. And pandito, very learned. So is Sugriva. Sugrivaha pandito nityam. Sorry, not Vibhishana. Sugrivaha. Sugriva is very learned. And also, Vibhishana, you're very good at giving advice. He's talking to Lakshmana also. Therefore, both of you consult. So, Ramachandra is telling Sugriva and Lakshmana, both of you are very insightful. So, give me, think about it and let me know, because I like what Vibhishana is saying. So, Sugriva and Lakshmana said, oh, Ramachandra, you're like the tiger among men. The advice Vibhishana has given, and how is it possible that if you like it, Vibhishana has good advice, that we will say no? Because without putting a bridge on this ocean, there is no way we cannot cross. There's no way that we can cross this ocean. Avabadha sagare setum. Abadhva, without binding, without a bridge, without bridging this ocean. Ghore अस्मिन् वरुणालये लंका नासादितुं शक्या सैन्द्रेरपि सुरासरे. So even Indra cannot cross without a bridge. So let the advice of Vibhishana, what he has given, let's carry it out. There's no use wasting time. Let's not waste any time. Let's request the ocean that you please give us way to go to Ravana. So Ramachandra accepted. He said, Eva muktaha kushastirne. Kushaha astirne. He spread kusha grass. Tire nada nadanipate. on the ocean, on the shore, tire of the ocean. The ocean is called Nada Nadi Pate. He's the husband of streams and rivers. Samvivesha tada Ramo Vedyam iva Hutashana. Ramachandra sat down on that kusha grass just the way fire sits in the middle of the sacrificial altar. And now he is going to fast for 3 days and wait for Sagara or Varuna to let him pass. Why did Ramachandra accept this advice? Because nowhere does Ramachandra reveal himself as the Supreme Lord. In some places, it is done in such a way that it's not easy to recognize. For all the Vanaras and Sugriva and others, Vibhishna has come to take shelter of Ramachandra from the Rakshasa family, and Ramachandra has accepted him as a friend. That is from the both the rasa and the tattva side, but from the dharma side. But the tattva is always the dhvani, it's hidden, that Ramachandra is the Supreme Lord, but he never reveals himself as one or as such. And so naturally, as a common human being, he will ask, how do we cross this ocean? So this is in our language, we're used to Yoga Maya, that she's acting, that everyone's thinking, oh, Ramachandra is our leader, another human being who needs to cross this ocean. Because it enhances the rasa. What if they said, what? What if Lakshmana also said, what are you asking? You are the Supreme Lord. Why do you need to cross this ocean at all? You can just shoot an arrow from here and kill Ravana, Lanka, everybody. Why even shoot an arrow? You just have to think, let them be finished, and that's all done. But then where's the rasa? Where's the thrill? Where is all the excitement and the enjoyment of Veera rasa? Where is the enjoyment of Bhayanaka, Adbhuta, Karuna? All of that is then hides away. But we want to experience it. The Lord also wants to experience it. So this continues in that way. Plus, the promise was made to the demigods, because the demigods asked Lord Vishnu, please appear on this earth and show us. We want to see you fight Ravana. So then there has to be a fight. He has to fulfill the desire that of the promise he has made to the demigods. So all of that is included, as this is part of how the rasa is experienced. Otherwise, philosophy itself, the tattva itself, will not allow us to experience the fullness of who he is, what he is going to do, and how he will. The whole excitement is about to come. So why? That is the reason he says, okay, I will accept this advice. And he sat down fasting for 3 days. Okay. Any questions, comments, thoughts, reflections? Please share reflections now and on the WhatsApp group, because it's very nourishing for everybody. I will take only 2 questions today. We don't have much time. So if there are any questions.
Prabhu, you said Lord Ramachandra requested Lakshmana to perform the Abhishek for Vibhishana, right?
Mm-hmm.
I missed that part. What was the reason you said? I'm sorry.
The reason is, without being made honorable by Lakshmana, the Guru, one is not really honorable. And this Abhisheka has to be done by Lakshmana as the Guru. That's the completeness of acceptance, that it is being done by Lakshmana. Even Sugriva's ceremony was done by Lakshmana.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, this Radha Balbadas Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Thank you for the wonderful discussion on rasa. I liked the whole exchanges, the intimacy, the humility of the Lord, And the whole etiquette, as you mentioned, the etiquette, as just now you mentioned about Lakshmana and Sugriva also accepting Vibhishana, and also Vibhishana's the wholehearted surrender to the Lord, and the Lord
Yeah.
surrenders to is the property of his devotees, which we heard during the Damodar pastime. This whole exchange of rasa is so wonderful to hear, right? Like, while
Yeah.
we are currently in the practicing sadhana vidhi bhakti, at least I can talk about myself, it's a struggle phase where we are trying to control, and as you said, two pocket system. This is Krishna, this is mine. But looking at devotees, doing the full surrender process, so inspiring, and probably we can take baby step towards that kind of a mood, at least get inspired by them. And thank you for churning
Yeah.
that rasa in this discussion. Thank you, Prabhu.
I'm just reading the verses, my friend. I'm just reading the verses. It's here. He's put everything here for us. Here's that verse. I like this one very, very much. Vachasa santoitvainam lochanabhyam pimaniva. He's drinking the Vibhishana through his eyes as if drinking. Very nice. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, very nice. Okay, you have a certain question or you're just sharing reflection?
Yeah, the one part I had, of course, I don't know if it's relevant. This is this whole process of Atma Nivedana, as we talk about from sadhana vidhi bhakti. Now, this when we are being told this is the surrounding process it's a moment to moment, and it's a baby step. So just wanted to get some of your thoughts and highlights how, while we may be practicing for years and years, and we hear also sometimes it may take millions of lifetimes also, and we may focus on externals of the process rather than the heart space, which we see the exchanges here. So you have some thoughts or recommendation? Like, I see you quite absorbed in your discussion, the way you turn it. So just wanted to get some of your thoughts.
Vibhishana is a hero. I mean, he didn't take any baby steps. He left Lanka, Mitrani, Dhanani, everything. That's a hard one. It depends on the conception. We're hoping that everyday hearing, our sadhana practices of chanting, serving, hearing, etc., helps us become free of this proprietorship. And that takes its own gradual time. And it's not that it takes time. The right perspective is that we loosen our grip on these things, on this proprietorship in a very gradual way. And therefore the experience is gradual. The grip that we have of possessiveness on family, wealth, home, the body is very tight. That is the whole idea of what being a conditioned being in this world is very tight holding. And this grasp never becomes loose. It's always, in fact, people make it tighter and tighter. And we have to learn the process. We are learning from great acharyas and gurus and personal that this grip needs to loosen. And at whatever pace we are willing to loosen it, to that, in that proportion is our experience of transcendence. But it's as no one can tell me, leave it. I have to do it. And I can take how much ever time I want. Nobody
Thank
can
you.
force it to. Because even if someone forces it, I may leave it. And the first situation, I'll hold it even tighter. You ever noticed on the bus or train, if you leave your hand, instead of holding for that support, you leave your hand, and if the bus jerks, then we hold it even tighter than what we were holding it previously. That's how it is. Our reflex is so strong to hold on. Here, Vibhishana is the opposite. I've Tyatva, Lanka, Dhananicha, Mitranicha, who's given everything up. That hold is completely given up. A great soul, great soul.
Excellent,
Okay.
Prabhu. Thank you so much. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to end here. Thank you very much. Next week, next week, excellent episode again of Sharanagati. Vibhishana said to Ramachandra, please do Sharanagati of the Samudra. We shall see if that Saranagati is successful or unsuccessful. And during the week, if there is this chapter, these verses, meditation, I request you do so. Please keep sharing on the WhatsApp group, because what happens is Saturday, things are heightened and then they dissipate during the week. So by sharing your reflections, we'll all be enthused, nourished, excited, inspired. So please don't be miserly. Please share. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much. We are very, very grateful to Vibhishana for showing us the way of how to offer ourselves to the Lord. We're very grateful to Sri Ramachandra, who shows how eager he is for us, how happy he is when we offer ourselves to him. And thanks to the wonderful associates he has around them, Sugriva, Hanuman, Jambavan, etc., who are always eager to help us connect us to the Supreme Lord. So, Sita Rama, Lakshman, Hanuman Ji ki Jai.